Good afternoon, everyone. Let's weave a tale of history. Many of you have been asking, when is the wrap-up coming for the October 2024 event? Got that up next. But I wanted to start with our modern world. This is a drone operator on the battlefield. Highest tech, newest tech, all the way from this point here, rock art, Uzbekistan. We've come this far in a few thousand years, and along the way, these impossible feats, building Venice on stilts, an entire city, trillions of pounds of building material. We felled forests, the sequoias, the largest behemoths, like there were toothpicks. And the story goes something like this. The population from 3700 BC, add another 2,000 years, 5,700 years ago, population was squeezed into these very small centers here. Younger Dryas survivors, perhaps. This were the spots with the least amount of damage to the ecosystem so societies could continue to grow. And by the year 1000 AD, we've spread across the planet. So the story goes, there was supposed to be no interconnectivity. But when we look at maps from the 1500s, continents appear very different. And even Antarctica, which was not discovered, is mapped at least in part in the coastline. And what we see as North America definitely has mountain ranges mapped on it. Somebody was there far before Columbus. And if we move over to Africa, the amount of megalakes, rivers, estuaries, giant bodies of water just in the 1500s do match up with what was seen in the reconstruction of the African megalakes, the basin. Does it seem like the timeline is clean and matching? All the world is focusing now on this same area of Africa. Over to the right, you're going to see that long lake there at the very edge of Darfur. And when you look at that, about 60 miles wide. Put that in perspective with the largest ones that were several hundred miles wide, larger than our Great Lakes. And at that time, gold was the revered substance of the universe. And it still is. What is it about gold with this substance that needs to be cherished? Time immemorial to time present. Speaking of, our technology's advanced us to the point where we can do a topographic map of Mars. The scarring, the Marineris, the arcing discharge points, and the Thunderbolts project explains all of this planetary scarring. Our modern telescopes can glimpse past the moon and take a look at Saturn. And Trump warns a Kamala win could lead to a 1929 style crash. Costco seen double-digit growth in gold sales as gold hits all-time highs. Goldman Sachs raised their target $2,900 an ounce by early 2025. Silver outperformed gold up in 2024 32%. That's an 11-year high. And JP Morgan forecasts silver to hit $36 an ounce in early 2025. Call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. And Patriot Gold Group has the No Fee for Life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. And you may qualify for the No Fee for Life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Give them a call, 888-546-7020 for your free investor guide today. And now on with the video. And looking at the magnetic pole, wandering since the 1600s, where will it go from here? Is it a cycle? This is the thing to ask. Our skies are becoming more electrified. Red sprites now looking very similar to what has come off of canyon walls across the planet. Petroglyphs coming to life. Our sun is sprung to life. And yet another X-flare adding on top of the electricity riding into our atmosphere that hasn't had a chance to dissipate. It was an X 3.3 and then an X 1.0 point 8, and another one is rolling, and it's just continuously building the charge in the atmosphere. Do you wonder, is this cosmic radiation management that we're seeing here in these beautiful blue clear skies? Would they want to nullify the charge of incoming galactic cosmic rays that would build more clouds and cause more floods? Because looking at this, Hunga Tonga explains part of it. Why there is more water in the atmosphere. Gold line at the top is 2023. The red line is this year. That water vapor from the Hunga Tonga eruption should be coming out of the water column, not building. So something else is adding more moisture to our atmosphere. What is it? And is it mappable? That is the whole question. This is in Saudi Arabia. This should not be what we're seeing in desert areas. This is along the Red Sea, massive floods across the entire Red Sea basin. And as we look at superstorms that have pelted the coast of all the continents across the planet, electrical ferocity, not before seen, is now common. If you're looking at the threads of our universe, the current flowing through space, the zeta pinch, where a star will form, visible in front of you, the current lines, for a better term, electromagnetism flowing through space. Birkeland currents right in front of you, but then step out a little bit wider into our Milky Way galaxy. 500 million stars plus, incalculable as we try to perceive from our Earth, and we're just one of trillions of galaxies. But what connects these all together? The same exact current that flows right into our star, that ebbs and flows on a cycle. Civilization collapse, civilization apex. And if you wide even further out, it never ends. But these clusters of billions of galaxies you're looking at, interwoven with that same electric current and consciousness. We can talk about mathematics and scale, high, low, zero, pinch point, zeta pinch again. Is it in the numerals from the septillion to the septillionth? Or is it in the frequency, the energetic waves, vibration and frequency and consciousness holding this together on mappable cycles? And the reason I'm doing the video, the mappable cycle now is tied to the collapse of the reserve currency. If you do the overlay of sunspot data and Gleisberg cycles, they ride hand in hand with world reserve currencies. Why do you think the world's changing so much? And why do you think we're back to gold again? Is it a mistake? Why is this the metal that is the metal that lasts through antiquity, 7,000 years, and it still has the same value? That piece of gold from 7,000 years ago holds the same value for food, shelter, entertainment, whatever it would be, exchangeable. And as we march through the eons, as civilizations come and civilizations go, the ebb and the flow of current charging our star that gives us bountiful food production or reduces food production where there's not enough food for the populace. That cycle is here again. And we might want to ponder over a golden sunset where it takes us, because we are at the sunset of our current civilization. And I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. This is truly the mappable cycle that so many have seen, so many can look around the corner. Why are so many things changing right now? And if you put it in this perspective of something in the heavens is changing as a signal to those of us on Earth that the present current way of life will change as the star, our sun, changes. We've seen it for the last 7,000 years, and if we go back before the Younger Dryas impact, we start to see that there was an emergence out of the Ice Age and sudden shock event back in to cold temperatures and right back out again, and then our civilization starts somewhere around 8,000 years prior. That has smaller cycles riding in it as well. Now, how many of those were involved with kingdoms, fiefdoms, vast transfers of wealth, areas on the planet that survived, areas that didn't, areas that got colder, areas that lost food production, areas that couldn't support large animals, people moved. We're starting to see some of these same things again. I see a lot of fingerprints that are very similar through history here. And speaking of civilization cycle, check out the Civilization Cycle podcast. That's civilizationcycle.com. Drop your email in there. We'll get you the show notes on our live show every Thursday night. Plus, we have the player right there so you can click and go and listen to the episodes half hour at a time. Civilization Cycle, where we talk about these same issues 30 minutes at a time. And speaking of time, thank you so much for your valuable time. Bye for now.